Here on the Red Zone pregame show. He's been on the programs before. Glad to have him back again. It's Dr. Josh Claypo, a clinical psychologist. You follow these college football teams, and you have a certain opinion about kids' psychologies when it comes to sports and failures. Both Alabama and Auburn have had failures in recent weeks. If you're an 18 to 21-year-old kid, how do you get through a loss when you say it doesn't bother you?
Well, I think it's easy for us to forget that these are kids somewhere between 18 to 22 years old. They're phenomenal athletes, but loss is a big deal when you're that age, and particularly when that loss is public.
You can make an argument that the most mental part of a football game is a kicker's mind. Alabama kicker Adam Griffith has struggled in the last 2 years. What would you say about a guy like that when you have a game on the line and it doesn't go out too well for you? What would you say about a guy like that mentally?
Well, while I never played college football, if you take a step back and you think about it, most of the guys out there are getting some degree of reps on somewhat of a regular basis in game time. Kicker never knows. So it is a combination of both the mental part of it as well as what we call the emotional part. So it's the mind may not be working the way it needs to. So you have a missed kick. That creates a sense of anxiety or frustration or doubt, which then sends in more distraction, which then affects the kick. The easiest way, right, is we always say he's just got to get a kick. He's just got to get over it.
Mental game for kickers, no doubt, in this game, but also quarterbacks. Switching gears now to the Auburn Tigers.
Yes.
Jeremy Johnson just got benched 2 weeks ago. If you're 21 years old, what's that thought process like? Is he ruined for life?
I don't think he's ruined for life, but I will say this, and this is not to blow this out of proportion. I think that we can't underemphasize the psychological impact on that. And when I say psychological impact, I'm not saying that he's ruined for life, but I am saying this is a chapter in his life that he will never forget. Now, where he goes with it, both in terms of this team and his future, is very important. Again, this is why we have coaching staffs. This is why we got other players. It's important for Jeremy Johnson that he emotionally rebounds from this, either to find his place on the team, but to me as a psychologist, more importantly, to make sure that this isn't a scar, if you will, that creates problems for him playing sports or doing other things in life.
And the guy who takes over is even younger. Redshirt freshman quarterback.
Another psychological issue.
Everyone always says that he has the eyes that are correct for the game. He's got it, but inside, not so much.
I will tell you this, that eyes are important, but ultimately for the person internally, it may or may not correspond. What I mean by that, he could have the right eyes, but he needs to have the right eyes and then have some successes. And again, you saw the way in the last game some of the plays were called to let him have those successes, because success breeds success. It also breeds confidence. So going out into this game, of course he's going to have some fear. Of course he's going to have some anxiety. That's normal. He can also help himself by talking to himself, coaching himself through the different plays, coaching himself through the failures. That will allow him to get through the whole game and not be stuck on a particular bad play.
And so I guess it's a good thing that they're going to play San Jose State today to get some positive momentum for Sean White. Dr. Josh Claypo, thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure.
We'll be right back after the break.